We now know the facts on President Trump's first military mission as president. Vice News explains that 14 al-Qaeda operatives were killed. So this is where some people go, oh, success, wonderful. This is the best news we could possibly have. But, quote, he hailed his first counter-terror operation since becoming president a success, though it clearly did not run to script, resulting in the death of a U.S. commando, injuries to 6 other soldiers, and the deaths of at least 10 women and children. Among the dead include an 8-year-old girl. They continue here. Human rights groups warn that the raid, the first for the U.S. with troops on the ground since 2014, could help bolster local sympathies for al-Qaeda in the war-torn country, regarded as one of the terror group's most dangerous branches. Okay. This is horrific, and this is, unfortunately, a continuation, in many respects, of Obama's failures on this front. So, under President Obama, they took out Anwar al-Awlaki with a drone. Now, Anwar al-Awlaki was a jihadist, but he was also an American citizen, which gives him due process rights. Now, they didn't give him any due process rights. They didn't even try him without him there, which they could have done. They just vaporized him with a drone. So the ACLU sued the Obama administration over this and said, you can't do this. Do you see the precedent that you're setting, that the U.S. president could just drone American citizens? That's nuts. So after that, they didn't stop there, of course. They took out Abdul Rahman al-Awlaki. Now, that's the 16-year-old son of Anwar al-Awlaki. Now, Abdul Rahman, no, he was not a jihadist. There was no indication of that, no evidence of that. He's a 16-year-old kid. So they took him out with a drone, and they claimed, oh, no, that was an accident. It was collateral damage because we were going after somebody else who we successfully got. Well, come to find out, actually, recently, we didn't get the guy they claimed that they got. We only got Abdul Rahman. So they took out the son of Anwar al-Awlaki. And then when the Obama administration at the time was asked, hey, why did you do that? You can't do that. This is wildly unconstitutional and illegal. Robert Gibbs famously said, he should have had a better father. Or he should have had a more responsible father. Oh, so that's what we're going to do now? You know, you're guilty for the crimes of your father? The fuck is this? That's some Orwellian garbage that he's spewing. So on top of that, you have the Obama administration. How was their overall record with drones? Because you might say, oh, Kyle, that's an anomaly. Outside of assassinating American citizens with drones, everything else was hunky-dory. No, you had 90% of the time they got the wrong people with drones. They didn't hit the intended target 90% of the time. And we've covered the stories. Oh, you hit a wedding procession. You hit a funeral. All innocent people being slaughtered. So I wonder if that's going to radicalize people further, and I wonder if that makes us the terrorist in this instance. I mean, we've spoken about people who worked in the drone program, and they say, you should have heard the conversations that went on, where people would say, oh, I just killed a fun-sized terrorist. So they say, oh, I killed a little kid, but it's okay, he was going to be a terrorist eventually anyway, who cares? Oh my goodness. So that was under Obama. Now under Trump, what are they doing? In this case, it was a direct mission on the ground, and again, you had the deaths of at least 10 women and children, including an 8-year-old girl. By the way, guess who that 8-year-old girl was? The sister of Abdul Rahman al-Awlaki. So they just took out the whole family. Hey, the father, guilty enough. Hey, now the son, just as guilty, who cares? The 8-year-old girl, the sister of Abdul Rahman, now dead too. And they point out in the article, this is going to increase sympathies now for al-Qaeda. This is not the way to go about it. This is not the way to win this war. This is not the way to win hearts and minds. It should be obvious, but it's not, because the mindset in Washington, under Obama, but definitely under Trump, oh, we're the good guys by default. By definition, we're the good guys. So when we do wrong, when we do bad, close enough, good enough. Well, no, you are what you do. And if you're a military that repeatedly takes out U.S. citizens, if you're a military that repeatedly takes out civilians, and you don't really care about the consequences of that, you're a war criminal. So let's actually try to abide by international law and abide by the U.S. Constitution and have a foreign policy that we would expect from any other nation. But I know that's too much to ask in the United States in the current day, because we're all oblivious and blind to what our government does. There's a reason why, according to a Gallup poll recently, within the last few years, they polled people all around the world, who's the biggest threat to world peace? The answer was not Russia. The answer was not Iran. The answer was the United States of America. Unless you say, oh, that's because everybody else is stupid and dumb and idiotic. Remind me who has the most interventions going on in the world right now? Right, we have 7 of them going on right now. 2 full-scale wars, mind you. Remind me who did the worst crime from the year 2000 and on? Oh, right, the Iraq War. An illegal war waged against a country that didn't attack us. They killed minimum hundreds of thousands of civilians and occupied a country. Remind me who has 800 military bases all over the world at a cost of $100 billion a year. Remind me who spends over 50% of their discretionary spending on the military. Remind me who spends more than the next 8 biggest countries combined on their military. Think you all know the answer to that.